Yes, guys, welcome back to another Club by Club draft preview. In this one, we're doing the North Melbourne Kangaroos, which is my team. Just another point on that. But I'm here with Jonty and Nathan from Craft of the Draft. Guys, what do the Kangaroos need to do? They've got picks 2 and 62. What's going to happen?
So pick 2 is obviously the talk of the town in the talent pathways industry at the moment, a month out from the AFL draft. My opinion is that they split this pick, and I think that's probably the way a lot of people are leaning and thinking that's what they should do. They've got embarrassment of riches, I think, when it comes to midfielders with Wardlaw and Sheasel and some of these types that have come in recent years and are either already part of the midfield or will become part of the midfield in the coming years. So I don't think keeping that pick 2 is necessarily in their best interests, because they'll be able to slide back in the draft, still get a key position talent that they are so desperate to get, and then they'll be able to get a secondary pick as well in that first round, because someone's going to have to pay a handsome price to get that pick 2.
So what's the deal?
I think you've talked about some potential deals. It has to be two picks inside the top 20. That's an obvious one, and one of those picks clearly has to be inside the top 10. I'd be from a North Melbourne perspective. The first thing I'd say is I'd be wanting to be confident that I could get Alex Taru still if I was to slide back. They've been very keen on him for most of this year, certainly since he's returned from injury, and you'd want to make sure you can get another key position talent as well, whether that's Luke Traynor hopefully or a Jack Whitlock. But I think your ideal pass mark, or your ideal for North Melbourne, is to get Taru and Traynor. A pass mark is to get 2 key position players, including Alex Taru. That's got to be the priority.
Yeah, so I guess there's a bit to unpack there. As far as you've gone there with Traynor and Taru as 2 defenders, or primarily defenders. Yep. Is that going overboard on the defense? Do you think they could look to a key forward with maybe the second pick, or is there any chance that they take a key forward with that pick 6?
I think there's every chance, yeah, and I think that's a completely valid discussion, but I'd lean more towards the defense. I just think it's too leaky, and I think it's too glaring a list need to just get one. I think they're in a tough spot down back.
Look, and I think they got a solid foundation with Larky at that key forward spot, so not to convolute things up forward, I guess might be something they look to. But
we do have to remember too, they brought in Jack Darling to play a role.
Yeah.
He's short term though. Yeah.
He does, but at least he feels that gap for now. I do back that too. You can never get enough in the back line, especially in a team that leaks a lot, to have that security. Obviously it won't happen overnight, but when the team does start to build up, get a few more wins on the board, these players are getting better, and they come in, and I think it's just step by step. But I do agree with that sentiment.
I think there's an argument too with Taru and Traynor that they are completely different.
They are, and that's why I'm okay with them, because you've got Traynor as that third tall type, whereas Taru, we saw him play a little bit of that this year, and that was probably where he played his best footy, but he's so raw still, and he's going to develop into something a little bit different to, I think, what he has shown this year. His productivity has been so strong, but he's still got another level to go to with regards to his physicality.
Do you think there's any questions? The one thing that people have come back with me on Taru a bit is the ball use. Is there a problem with him with ball in hand?
No, I don't think so. Not personally. I have heard that argument though.
Well, no, that's not something I've particularly noticed in his game. I don't think it stands out to the point where you're like, mate, you got to be careful if you get this bloke, you're going to have to live with a pretty poor kick. Like I've never associated that.
Having said that, it's not a weapon the same way that Luke Traynor's kicking is, but it's solid. Yeah, I'd say.
I could sort of see Luke Traynor being more of that distributor for them, and Taru sort of playing the more key position. Both of those key position options, when you compare them up against some of the others, they're a little bit undersized.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's actually a bit of a thing across the entire pool of talls. In this top half, we've got Harry Armstrong, Job Shanahan. Shanahan would be the tallest, wouldn't he?
194 Shanahan is, which is the same as Taru, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Taru was 193, but anyway, Traynor at 194. So they're all that sort of. None of them are, probably gorilla takers as far as from a defensive point of view, or the forwards.
And I guess the little nugget to touch on here is that North will probably get another top end pick next year, you'd assume, with the trajectory that they're on. And there's a lot of tools in that draft with Archie Ludowick, Louis Emmett, a couple of the ones up the top there. It's a very key position dominant draft. How does that play into their thinking? And are they a little bit more comfortable going undersized, confident in a sense that they'll be able to get that in the years to come?
Do you think there's any argument with their current defensive setup, with having how they've rolled Comben back as a key position player? They do have Dawson, who's coming through the ranks as well, who they've drafted recently. Is there any argument that they actually don't take a key defender at all?
I still think they need a key defender. No, I do. Yeah, and I think the fact they've been so hot on Alex Taru almost shows their hand a little bit. Yeah, and unless they were to play him as a forward, which is a possibility, but it feels like it's been to play him as a defender.
And they also hold pick 62. Is anything going to happen with that pick, do we think?
The only thing I can come up with is they have River Stevens there as a father-son option. I don't think he's fit for AFL level. If that's my real honest opinion there, I think you'd have to develop him quite a lot. I feel like you'd agree there. I just don't think he showed any point of difference as a small forward when you look at the others on that top 60 list. I just don't think he established himself or hit a really hot patch of form or something like that. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm not hot that they have to take River Stevens just because he's a father-son. I still think he's a 50-50 at best. I think that pick 62 could end up getting absorbed in a deal to move back with pick 2. The club might want that the other way just to get a little bit of interest. So
I think the only argument in the River Stevens deal at this point with the form that he's shown is probably that he potentially feels a positional need in that sort of smaller forward type player, and I think that could be on his side there. But yeah, I agree. It's very, very touch and go. But I think that's it, boys. That's it for the Kangaroos.
Yep.
That's another club-by-club draft analysis video. We'll be back with more of these in the coming weeks. See you next time.